Bitcoins and beer, Bitcoins and beer. Here is Norm, he's a storm as he screams and raves and rants. He is here drinking beer, spilling Bitcoins on his pants. Hello, it's me, Norm, again. And I'm here to tell you more about Bitcoins. And drink beer, of course. If I seem a bit groggy, because the first beer I had was the Stone Ruin 10 IPA, which is, I was going to drink this during this time, but unfortunately I shared it with somebody and it's all gone. So, today's beer is actually brought to you from one of my Twitter followers, and if you do want to follow me on Twitter, it's Bitcoins and Beer. So, but this is I think it was from M3YR3yKFgQNtVuMy8ZXmCksEHkSjxoCmX at Twitter. So I would like to thank them very much for this beer. They gave it to me via ChangeTip. If you don't know about ChangeTip, just go to changetip.com and find out more about it. This beer is called Get Up Off of That Brown, made in LA. It's by Golden Road Brewery, which is actually not too far from me. It's brown now. Oh, very nice. Today I decided to talk to you about altcoins, because those confuse a few people every now and then. And an altcoin, see, the whole Bitcoin technology is open source, which means that you can take it and rewrite the code, and it's kind of like the Mozilla web browser, which was like Netscape, but now it's like Firefox. But you can also, like, there's like CMonk. There's so many different variations of the Mozilla web browser. A lot of the web browsers, with the exception of Internet Explorer, are based have some basis on that, because it's basically free code that you can copy and rewrite as long as you document. Bitcoins and Beer Dog. Yep. But you want to get in here? What people are doing are rewriting the code of Bitcoin and writing other coins with other features. Right now, most of those coins, because there's probably over 100 of them now, that you can't buy things with them. Like Bitcoin, where you can actually buy things with. And I think that's going to change. Right now, the most popular, and don't quote me on this because you can actually go to the websites to find out what's more popular. But the more popular ones I've seen is, well, there's Litecoin, which is came out right after Bitcoin. It's like it's almost like Bitcoin's gold and that one's silver. And then I guess Dogecoin would be the third most popular one I've seen. It's almost like copper, I guess. If you're experimenting with, like, trying to figure out how it works, I would definitely recommend, experimenting with an altcoin instead of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's much too valuable to experiment with. And unfortunately, I didn't really know a lot about altcoins when I first started, so I experimented with Bitcoin, and I kind of regret a lot of that, because I probably lost, some bits and pieces here and there, just trying to figure out how it all works. I would probably recommend, experimenting with Dogecoin, because the community is actually very helpful, much more helpful than the community of Bitcoin when I started. They're very enthusiastic too, and it could be a little bit cultish, but of course people say that about religious Bitcoin followers too. They are very helpful. They're very cheap right now too, which is another reason why I would recommend trying an altcoin over Bitcoin to experiment, like getting to learn it, and the security is very important. Just transferring funds from one wallet to another, because one little mistake, you transfer it to the wrong wallet, it could be gone forever, or they could be in somebody else's wallet, which has happened to me before. But that's the way things go. And if I had like something like Dogecoin to experiment with, that'd be great. There's also what I think they're calling Bitcoin 2.0 coins, which I've looked into a little bit. I'm not really too into like altcoins. I don't trade them because basically all you can do with them is trade Bitcoins with them. A lot of them, with exception of some of the ones I said, or the three or two I just said. I've only seen anything for sale with Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin. Actually, oddly enough, I think it was Amagi Metals had Potcoin up there, which I'm pretty sure there's other sites that I don't go to that accept Potcoin too. It's a pretty popular one as well. But one of my favorite lesser-known altcoins is called Maza, I think is how it's pronounced. It's from the Lakota Nation, which is an American Indian nation that actually succeeded from the United States to have their own little nation. And I actually have some of their other coins because before when they succeeded, they actually started their own currency system, and I have a copper coin of theirs and a silver coin of theirs. And so when they came out with the digital currency, I had to get their digital currency. And Maza, I believe is Lakota for metal, which also translates to money. I'll put my Maza coin address down there if you want to send me a Maza coin. I really don't have that many, but if you want to send me, that'd be great. There's this thing called DogeParty, which is more of a token-based system. And that's a split off of the blockchain of Bitcoin, and basically that's almost like melting down a Bitcoin. Well, it's like if you were to melt down a quarter and use the metal from the quarter to make your own coin, to press your own coin. That's almost what DogeParty does with Bitcoins. It melts down the Bitcoin and it creates your own coin. It's kind of weird. I think it might be kind of detrimental to the Bitcoin economy later on. And Dogecoin actually started doing the DogeParty, which I think is a much better idea because there's so many more Dogecoins than there are Bitcoins out there. That's something else where the availability of the coin and stuff like that, where I think I like the DogeParty idea. I'll put my DogeParty address. If you have any DogeParty coins down that you want to send me, that'd be great too, because I've been playing around with some of those. And I would like to thank Theo from SoundWallet for sending me some Theo coins to play around with from the DogeParty. So, yeah, I hope you got my change tip finally, because you ignored the first one. So, I guess that's all I want to say, because that beer made me feel really good. But this one's not bad. Once again, thanks again to M3Medic Twitter. So, please leave a comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. I actually have a lot more Twitter followers than I have subscribers here, but thanks once again for listening to my ramble or rant or whatever you want to call it. So, I think it was more of a ramble today, but thanks, and hopefully you understood it. So, cheers, enjoy your beer, enjoy your altcoin.